The Chicago Bears have made their first signing on day 2 of NFL free agency. It is a receiver, Kalif Raymond, 1 year, $5.1 million deal. Don't know the guarantees or the contract structure at this point in time. I would guess like 2.5, 3 guaranteed, something like that. Maybe there's some incentives in there. But Raymond comes over from Detroit, a place where he's been for the past 5 years, and including the prior 4 years when Ben Johnson was there. Antoine Randall was his receivers coach as well. Let's break this signing down and kind of take a look at where the Bears sit at this point in NFL free agency. But guys, we are closing in on 160,000 subscribers. You can help us get there. If you want free and daily Bears content, we are the channel for you. So subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. All you got to do is hit that sub button. All right, let's talk a little bit more about Kalif Raymond as he comes over on a 1-year deal. You look at his numbers last year. The last couple of years, his production in Detroit has declined as they've kind of added other weapons. Obviously, St. Brown and J-Mo have taken off. Laporta as well. Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. They drafted Isaac Tesla. But kind of what you're getting here is a low-end wide receiver 3, really more of a wide receiver 4 type, who's also a really good returner. Reliable hands, only has 2 drops in the last 4 years as well. And you look back, 2021 to 2023, he basically averaged over 500 yards. So he's a guy who is capable of taking on a bigger role if there's an injury or if he needs to step up and be that guy. He can do that within an offense. But ideally, he's your 4th guy who is your return specialist as well, especially as a punt returner. With the new kickoff rule, a lot of teams like bigger returners, so I don't know if he'll be the primary kickoff returner, but I do think he will be this team's punt returner here in 2026. And I think I look at this with Kalif Raymond right now, 2 birds, 1 stone. I think he is simultaneously filling the Olamide Zaccheaus and Devin Duvernay role in one. Because Olamide Zaccheaus is probably a slightly better overall receiver than Kalif Raymond, but Kalif Raymond is also a returner, which Olamide Zaccheaus is not. Devin Duvernay is probably on par with Kalif Raymond as a returner, but he's a worse receiver than Kalif Raymond. So you get what I'm saying? He's kind of filling both those roles, but individually. Whereas last year, Zaccheaus was like your wide receiver 3, 4, but didn't give you anything on special teams as a returner. Duvernay was a good returner, but didn't really offer much as a receiver, made a few plays over the course of the season. I think Raymond can kind of give you both in one body. I think the money kind of reflects that, up $5 million, whereas Zaccheaus and Duvernay combined were making right around that. So I think that's kind of the thought process here. He'll join this room, come compete with a guy like Jahdae Walker for wide receiver 3, maybe a draft pick in there as well, behind the top 2 guys who are obviously Rome Odunze and Luther Burden atop this wide receiver depth chart. So I like the move. He's familiar with the offense. Obviously, he's played under Antoine Randall, so there won't be a big kind of, orientation learning curve there. He should be able to fit in and pick things up pretty quickly and do a multitude of roles, which I just broke down, from both a receiver, return specialist. He can do some gadget plays on offense. So I think it's a good move. I like this move for Chicago. I want to ask you guys this right now, and things could change with the draft or another signing or whatever. Who do you guys think is the Bears wide receiver 3? Type JW for Jahdae Walker. Type KR for Kalif Raymond. Let me know down in the comments section below. I think in an ideal world, Walker just takes that role. That would be ideal because you got a really cheap wide receiver 3 because he's an undrafted free agent. But I do think it'll be a competition between those two. And like I said, potentially a draft pick as well. Give me your thoughts. Jahdae Walker, Kalif Raymond, JW, or KR. All right, more free agency discussion here in just a moment, but first, got to tell you about Prize Picks. Shoot your shot with Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right, Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting, so don't miss the chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks, Prize Picks. Football might be over, but March is the best month of the year when it comes to basketball. The stakes have never been higher, and get in on the action. Talking points, rebounds, assists, fantasy score, blocks, steals, three-pointers, free throws. Pick more or less on stat projections available on 2 to 6 player lineups. Other sports are available too. If you're not into hoops or hockey and you're just a football junkie, well, how about some season-long stat projections? Fun fact, I keep mentioning this, Myles Garrett has 14 or more sacks in 5 straight years. His more or less number on Prize Picks is 13.75. I'm going to think he's going to hit 14. So I took more on Caleb Williams' passing yards. If he's healthy, he's going to shatter that number. And then Colson Loveland had 6 touchdowns as a rookie. I think double digits could happen. So give me more than 6.5. This was $20 entry to win $100 on this 3-player lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups. Once you sign up and play your first $5 lineup, Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Okay, so this is where the Bears sit in free agency after the Kalif Raymond signing, and we're picking things up from the Bradbury trade, which happened a couple of days before free agency. They plugged that hole at center with Drew Dolman retiring. Daniel Hardy back on special teams on a 2-year deal. DeMarco Jackson, who I still think could return or be a starter for this team. I think right now he's probably your Sam linebacker. We'll probably discuss, go through the depth charts later as a whole and kind of update you guys on that. Neville Gallimore, rotation D-tack, not a lot of depth at that position, so like that move. Coby Bryant, Devin Bush, the two kind of bigger swings that they've taken, but not reckless ones, which I like. Coby Bryant, young, ascending safety, 26 years old, versatile, can do different things, 7 picks the last 2 years. Devin Bush, one of the best linebackers in the league last year, can really run, he can cover, you can bring him on blitzes, he can get downhill, can do a little bit of everything. I thought from a value standpoint that was fantastic, especially when you see what a guy like Quay Walker got. Case Keenum back, I love that. Braxton Jones, really a $5 million deal. He can get incentives that gets it up to 10. He'll compete at left tackle. And then now you add Kalif Raymond into the fold, a guy who, again, does a little bit of everything. He can run some of the routes. You can get him on quick hitters. He can do some of the jet sweep stuff, and he's a good returner. So like that, get him on board, knows the offense, knows your main the head coach and the wide receiver coach as well. So certainly a guy who should fit in well. One position they have not added yet, which I would still like to add a guy on like a 1-year deal, is an edge. And we discussed some of these guys earlier. If you want a longer video breakdown of this, I took a look at day 2 free agent targets and looked at some positions, including receiver, including Kalif Raymond, so hit on that one. Could you get one of these guys on a reasonable 1-year deal? I haven't heard much on Bradley Chubb, so I don't know what his market is. Joey Bosa, Clowney, they might be a little richer than what the Bears like, but maybe Cam Jordan can play on a reasonable 1-year deal. Dennis Allen guy, so we'll have to wait and see on that front. Obviously, defensive back, in addition to Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Deshaun Wright, who are all unsigned. These are some other defensive backs that are still out there and available. If they want to add to the secondary, you still have a vacant starting safety spot open, maybe a starting corner spot. I don't know how the Bears feel about Tyreek Stevenson. I'm okay rolling into next year with him at least having a chance to win that job, but the Bears may not be. Defensive tackles, if they want to add more of a run-stopping guy, a guy like DJ Reader, Sebastian Joseph Day could certainly fill that type of role if they want to do that after adding Neville Gallimore. And then I doubt they're going to sprint to get a running back, but here are some guys that are still out there if they want to get a third back for security, or if they decide to pivot off DeAndre Swift, which I think would be a surprise at this point, but you certainly never know what could happen. All right, don't forget to check out the merch, chatsports.com/Bears shop, the beers, hat, and shirt combo, $10 off. When you add both to your shopping cart, you'll get $10 off. The discount automatically appears, so check that out. And St. Patrick's Day is almost here, and you can still get our St. Patrick's gear. This t-shirt is available in green, navy, and black. You see the black hoodie there. Here, the t-shirt looks the same. Here, the zoom in on the navy draw up as well. Hoodies available just in black and navy, but the t-shirt, if you want to get it in green, full St. Patty's mode, you can do that. Use the express shipping to get it by St. Patrick's Day if you order today. $5 too. We're giving you a little discount on the express shipping. check it out, chatsports.com/bearshop. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're going to continue to monitor things throughout NFL free agency.